Greetings and salutations, humans. This is Froggy and Friends, and we are playing Grit.
Ooh.
So exciting. Where we left off was... How do I put this?
There's a lot of pieces.
Yeah, they traversed a cavern deep into the earth, found pretty much an ecosystem that was lost to time, went inside a green pyramid, and then stopped a ritual that they didn't necessarily understand. Jade used her Sharps rifle and blew the back of someone's head off, which was one of the sisters, and when she hit the ground, realized that she's not a human, but like part human, part snake thing. And then Frederick, who is Jeff, went over and tried to stop the other sister, but she grabbed Maurice and jumped into like a black hole and just totally disappeared. And after that, the building started to collapse, and they ran and ran, barely making it out, and the mountain range that they were in is no more. Totally disappeared.
Not to mention all those people are dead.
Yeah, you all had the realization that everyone associated that had taken that concoction is most likely dead. A horrible, horrible death.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, yes. And on their way out, they did stop at the shack and get Maurice's diary and read that. But now, as you guys are walking out, you're realizing the horses that had drawn that wagon weren't there. And do you remember that there was a burial ground?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't there.
Whoa.
Huh.
So around this time, you'd probably be starting to look through your notes your notes are
Yeah,
there.
okay,
The
all right.
rubbings are there. Remember the robes you grabbed?
Yes, the robes are gone.
No.
They're not.
Ooh.
Not gone?
Oh, okay.
Nice. So you and I each grabbed a robe set.
Now that's it. It's like a weird tingly feeling when you touch it. Like kind of like definitely pins and needles, but it's only when you touch it. It's like it's an icky feeling.
Mm.
It's
So
like
we're gonna keep that
fiberglass?
packed away.
What was that?
Like fiberglass?
No. That's just cotton candy in the walls, Jeff.
Okay.
We should eat a snack. Not really for the
It's not
children at
edible.
home.
Why pink?
Exactly. Yeah. Bubblegum cotton candy just is wrong. Okay, what else here?
The axe
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot
situation.
I forgot.
Because I saved Tulok's life.
Yeah,
Jay saved Tulok.
Tulok had decided to tell the axe, well, more correctly, the entity associated with the axe, that he would give Lily,
Right.
and the axe.
If the axe helped him win the fight.
Yep. And well, you specified that the sisters would be gone,
Right.
and the axe decided that the sisters were gone.
Right. Even though it's like, yeah, he definitely manipulated the wording in there.
Yep. And decided to take all the shrapnel that bound Tulok to the axe out of his arm, and now Tulok, kind of on the peripherals, always sees the individuals that he sacrificed and gave to the axe, along with knowing that Lily was his way out to a life of peace. Not necessarily that he had to marry her, but a relationship of being associated with her. Like everyone that has dreams or anything like that, it's up to your interpretation. So she interpreted it one way. It could have been just you guys having a friendship. Let's see here. What else?
And now the axe is bound to her.
Most likely, presumably.
It seems like
So
seems that way.
now you guys are leaving the area. Jeremiah, He's just on his horse. He's kind of like, he hasn't said a word after running. Like he barely cleaned the dust off of him, and he's.
I remember he was pretty useless in the fight because of the little snakes and stuff. So.
Well, no, he was lower. He didn't come up yet.
It's
Y'all,
downstairs.
yeah, he was at the
It was
bottom.
so quick because
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Useless.
Useless. Just an opportunity didn't really arise for him to really stand up and do something. Now, you guys decided you didn't want to go back through the town,
Right.
so you're going to be taking a different route. Okay.
I'm still bound up with 3 wounds, right?
Yeah,
You're down bad. You're like
Did I
one
have?
hit away.
Can you remind me if I was missing vigor? Because I spent a fortune at the end to try to stay alive. So I don't know if that would have restored my vigor, even though I got 3 wounds.
You did that. You used your last one to get the vigor, and then. But right now, you're bandaged up. You guys are just kind of going back. This is an
Gotcha.
opportunity to kind of take a breath. You all have your vigor back, your resolve back, excluding what you paid in despair. And same thing with fatigue. If you paid fatigue or something like that, that is
So
not
you
back
still
yet.
have wounds.
You still have wounds because this is the trip back. So you're heading back to Devil's Gorge.
Out of Maine,
Yeah.
towards our Russian friends.
Yep. Ivan and Dolores. Now, in this time, you guys, if you want to, you can have interaction. Otherwise, if you just feel you guys would be kind of quiet.
Tulak probably wouldn't say a word.
Oh, when you were going back where the wagon fight occurred, if you recall, Cedric used a certain giant Tesla gun,
Yeah.
and that rift that you saw isn't there,
Okay.
nor is the snake.
I wouldn't have.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, the
Scary.
30-foot snake is gone.
Are there any like markings around it?
Do a survival.
I'm both thankful and not at the same time.
This is like one of those that you're like, this is a fever dream.
Which one's survival under?
Survival is under awareness.
Oh yeah, I'll look right past it. That's fine.
It happens. It's okay.
I got 2 successes.
Well, you were looking mainly for the snake. You had 2 successes, was it? It looks like there's drag marks that go to nowhere. And there's also like almost scorch marks, and it's a with 2 successes. But it's only facing the opposite direction of where the mountain range once was.
Is there anything worth value left there? Like
There's
worth grabbing, or is it basically just like?
it's just a spot that you guys know. You do go over to where the sisters had moved that rock. The boulder's there, but there's no finger hold. Like you're listening. It's like it's almost like it fused. It's like it never was. Let's see, what else was? You had 2 survival. Would Cedric actually kind of look where the
What's this eyeglass?
where the rift was, or did you really care?
Probably the rift, but not the snake.
Okay.
If I notice like the rift is gone, that would be the scientific evidence.
Okay. So you can roll if you want to. Like, if you're going to be looking into, are you going to like kind of study the area, or just kind of go past it?
I mean, I would study the area just to figure out like why this is missing, you know.
Well,
And I feel like that would promote more insight into my Tesla gun.
Okay. Roll it like an alchemy. Let's just do an alchemy because your alchemy
Yeah,
skill is
I like
pretty
that.
good.
2 successes.
Okay, cool. As you're with the 2 successes, you're kind of looking, and you know where the damage was, where the tear in space time really should be, and you're remembering when you used it prior, and you got Hansel. There was a certain amount of time that it kind of diminished,
Mm-hmm.
but this was a far bigger tear, and it definitely, and you kind of sidestep and look, and you squint and tip your head, and for a second you think there's like footprints leaving, and then you tip your head the other way and they're gone. You tip back. It's kind of like the lighting changes.
Here we go again.
Hans's got a brother.
But remember, it didn't look like the same place.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. That's it for.
Yep. So your trip back, Jeremiah, is just pretty quiet. Do you guys have any? Do you want any conversations or anything? Because we can just kind of skip to you guys actually getting to Devil's Gorge, and
I think we can. I don't think Jane would be up to
Tulak would
have
not be
any
talking, yeah.
conversation at this time.
okay. No. Okay.
Everybody's pretty shell shocked.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure, because like there could be something you guys really want to talk about, and I'm like, I want to make sure I give you that time.
Jane would be like writing in her little book with stuff, like trying to write down everything she remembers.
Okay. Cool. Good.
Tulak would every so often look at the vest because Lily made it for him.
Yep.
Ooh. Dang.
Not just the
Ouch.
vest.
Yeah.
All the clothes you're wearing,
Oh.
every single stitch,
Yep.
every modification.
You guys
Thanks.
need to go back and watch those episodes to the viewers if you haven't.
So do you.
Emotional.
How
That's true.
how messed up is Tulak's arm on a scale of 1 to it's in a sling?
It's bandaged up from Cedric.
It's bandaged up, but the thing, like, think of, like, you had a whole bunch of splinters in your arm and you pulled them out. It's uncomfortable to move. The shrapnel itself was just under the skin. So, and it wasn't, like, within the muscle. It's a very, like when people put, like, silicone beads
Mm-hmm.
in their arm, it's in essence the same thing that was going on, but it was, the pieces were so small you couldn't notice. You go up to oddities and curiosities. Nothing really seems to have changed. You walk in, and the smell of incense and like the very reminiscent smell of an
Apothecary.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Is there? You're looking around, and that strange feeling. You've got horribly taxidermied animals kind of staring at you with one eye at least. And seated behind the counter is Ivan, and he just kind of tips his head up, and you see the reminiscent slit open up in the center of his nose.
Oh, nasty. Forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Now remind me, he's still like almost 7 foot tall, right? Just a
Well,
gigantic.
he's like 6'8".
6'8".
He's like 6'8".
And he's got 2 pairs of ears.
Yep. He's got 2 sets of ears, and
He slit in his nose.
well,
Get a
his
big
nose
beard.
looks. The lighting in here is a little bit bigger. It looks like he's got 2 tips of his nose.
Oh.
So, but that slit opens up almost like a gill, and you can definitely hear it, like it's breathing in through there.
Interesting.
Yep.
Where's Jeremiah? Is he like
Well,
covering in the back still? Is he like out?
He's got his head down. He's got his hat off, not giving him eye contact. If you recall, they took his carriage, everything.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, like, I'm
He's-
trying to get a lay of the room.
Okay, here I'll.
Where we're all standing, because am I in front or?
Okay, so here's where he is. Actually, let's do something a little bit. Gotta love D&D stuff. So I'm guessing you'd be like right front
Probably.
center. Tulak, I'm guessing probably about here,
Yeah.
Got the poo.
and then and Jeremiah is way back. Just so you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I heard a lot of strange happenings.
They were
Did you
very
take-
strange.
Did you take care of everything?
I don't think anything's left. We killed one of the sisters.
What sisters? I sent you after just Maurice.
So Maurice was accompanied by two sisters.
Never heard of them.
Tell him about these snakes.
So
Roll. You're not. I don't need to roll. He did actually talk a little bit about that. That sisters was there, but he's like he never heard of them.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Bring it on. So the magical cure wasn't very good.
Correct. It was not.
Everybody is dead.
I'm good. Can I roll an observation to find out where his sister is, or if there's anyone else around us?
Yeah.
I do need to know where his sister is if you see her.
Dolores.
I just imagine Jade trying to explain all this and being like,
Still only one success, even though I rolled a natural 1. I don't have a focus or anything in it, just a training of 9.
Okay. You're noticing like when you guys walk in, this is a loud building.
Okay.
You hear someone in the back, but that could be
Any number
her
of people.
or the certain blind person that you guys met.
Right.
So looks like it was a lot harder than I thought it would be.
yes.
So I don't have any competition. So this brings out a parcel. This is for Thaddeus. And he requested that you wanted to speak to someone I knew. Okay. And but each of you can go through and possibly pick something as a bonus for doing it so quickly.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Did you hear that, Frederick?
Yeah, I caught that I can take something as a bonus.
Yep. So, is there anything you guys would look for in specific?
Dolores.
Absolutely.
You cannot
you want
take
Dolores?
You can't
You want the 6 foot like 7 or 8?
I need to talk to her.
Okay, you want to talk to her? Okay.
Just one lock.
I want her.
So Frederick, I'm kind of imagining you're starting to look around.
What would I
You'd
do?
probably look around the room, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Probably get
Okay.
another one.
Is there something you're looking in particular? Otherwise, I can start pointing things out.
Yes. Anything that would allow me to have a dinner or breakfast with a certain very powerful specter.
Okay, I
Is
am
she
going
pretty?
to.
She's beautiful.
I'm going to share. I'm going to share some things with the group, and then I'll describe the differences between the items themselves and what's actually there.
Ooh.
Okay.
You
Both these first things are cool.
Yeah.
okay? You see some. You actually see like dinnerware that you know, and it's got some chips and there's some utensils that when you open like silverware when you open up the case that look like they're skeletons that make the utensils. The dinnerware and the plates themselves, you're looking closer and it looks almost like there's vertebrae like portrayed in the scrolling and stuff. And you're feeling hands kind of over your shoulders, and then they go down and it's like they're wrapping around your waist.
Oh, all right. Yes.
The big
I
guy.
begin to think things a little.
It's definitely not because that wouldn't be hands you'd be feeling, it'd be more like tree trunks.
Yeah, it wouldn't be gentle.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
Definitely not gentle.
Turlock gets destroyed by his otherworldly entity, and Fredericks is like,
well, it's better entities.
Okay, so, is Jade looking for anything?
Jade would look for. She naturally would look for like the most expensive thing in the room, but
Okay.
she would also be looking for something like for Kent. There was something that could connect her closer to Kent, so she could give him.
Like a chew toy or like because I'm just
Yeah,
trying to make
like
sure like what avenue you're kind of going.
Like a chew toy or like something he can carry with him. Like even if that was like a collar he could wear, just something for him.
Ghost color.
Ghost collar.
Okay, that'd be.
Or just something
that's on aisle
like
3.
that.
That's pretty tough.
If not, that's fine. Jade would look for something shiny and unique.
Okay.
A trinket.
How about roll an observation? If you roll over, let's just see the kind of the number that you get, and kind of see where we go from there.
I have 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. So something for Kent. That's
I'm stumped out. If we need to think on it, I can put a pin in it.
We should really stand it out.
Yeah. She built her character very well. Yeah. So necessarily something for Kent. You are seeing some dog stuff, but it's like a skull, stuff like that, or like a like a whole bunch of collars. You're like, okay, I can't really use that. But with the 3, you're looking for something unique. What kind of unique are you looking for?
Something that she could maybe carry on her person.
Okay.
So like something, whether that's like just a pendant or like a knife or just something unique that she wouldn't already have.
Okay. There's a whole bunch of hanging baubles, and most of this shop is unique. You actually see like a little kind of step around. You're like you didn't see this little section, and you're like, is that? It looks like there's a shrunken head like hanging there, and then you don't want to touch it because you've never seen one before. You kind of sidestep a little bit. There's multiple like different teeth and stuff with like wraps, copper, things like that. Then there are, but behind the counter there are like brooches and stuff like that. And Ivan's sister does come out around this time, and Dolores, so that you could have a conversation with her that for things like that.
Okay.
But you did have 3 successes, so pretty much if you're wanting a brooch or something like that, if you have an idea of what you're wanting,
I don't. I'm
this
just
is more
kinda winging it.
more of a
Yeah.
surprise. Okay,
So,
I've got. Let me look through my little.
look at me getting Dolores.
Well, Dolores actually comes out with a tied, kind of looks like it once was a nice kerchief. So it's like frayed at the edges, and definitely looks like there's more cloth inside of it and something else. And she's like, oh, here you go. This is from Thaddeus for you.
Oh.
And then you wanted something. And she just kind of gives you like a look down. If you recall, all of her clothes have like an extension of cloth, kind of to make sure that it all fits her.
Yeah.
And Ivan has the same thing, like it off matching.
Yeah, they're.
They but as close as they could get, and so she notices, like, she points to your necklace and like, oh, that's like maybe this would go with it. She opens up and there's like a bracelet that just kind of has the same chain, pretty much. So you picked that item, Frederick. Tulak, is there something that you'd be?
Well, does the medicine man count as the favor, or can I still shop?
You can still look around.
So I have a gift from Thaddeus and the bracelet. Okay. Sure.
Tulak would look for something comforting, probably something that reminds him of home. Maybe something he can hear the ocean in from all his
Another
days
axe.
fishing.
Okay, so
Probably not another possessed axe.
just roll an observation for me.
Feels like it.
Well, the thing is his culture actually doesn't use tomahawks.
Yeah, the northern ones didn't use it quite so much.
There's just so like there's like an eerie floating like hammer.
Two
It's just,
successes.
like,
My observation's terrible, so I got 2 successes.
You're
on
you're
very
actually
much.
walking through and you double take. You see one of your culture's ceremonial double daggers
Ooh, another one.
made out of
Metal.
of all things.
Whoa.
there's a
Dibs.
bit.
I'm gonna take a moment to kind of look it over and be really impressed before I. Does it fit in my tomahawk sheath?
The tomahawk, no, because it's a double.
Yeah, it'd slide right through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I
But
can
it would
find a way to
fit
hold
in
it.
your bone dagger sheath perfectly.
What should I do with my bone dagger?
I'm just saying that it would fit. It's
the same
ironically it's like
size.
the exact same size.
Oh.
And the weight of it is like amazingly light for being out of metal.
Can I do any kind of sorcery or lore on it to make sure?
Roll me a mysticism under awareness.
Reminds me what
Oh, my mysticism's actually really good.
the gentleman in the back. He specialized in
Rounds.
rounds.
Blacksmith.
Okay.
Gunsmith.
Yes.
You've
Okay.
got
I was like,
gunsmith.
I was thinking blacksmith, but I was like,
You're getting like that taste in your mouth
Okay.
that you kind of had from the axe, but not so bitter.
Oh, that's scary. Is that good? Is that bad?
It seems to be much the same metal.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I
Like
see what
that
you mean.
kind of.
All right. Well, then I will.
It's-
I'm gonna stick the metal one in where the bone in the sheath. I'll take the bone one and put it in my boot because it's less likely to cut me, I think, probably than
You'd
what's
probably
in
wrap
there.
it in like a kerchief.
Yeah, something that
You can do
protect
something
me.
in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, but you just make note that you've got that.
Cool.
Cedric, you wanted to talk to Dolores.
Yes. I would go up to Dolores and say, I was told that you could answer some questions for me.
About.
I don't know, would about my book. And I would show little drawings of my father's rings. The lion and goat ring and the snake. And then I would say, have you ever heard of Labasu Gate or Shepherd of the Ark?
Oh. And they both kind of grin. And like, if you recall, like, walking in, there was a shield of a chimera.
Yep.
We have items from these organizations that are not supposed to exist. Actually, roll me a persuade. I think it would be a persuade. No, the only reason is just to see how much you're going to get out of this. Yeah, persuade.
Fingers
I'm
crossed.
very,
for
I'm
you.
very tempted to use a fortune.
You guys have full fort. I'm actually pondering if you actually have like a corruption or a touched gift, kind of like yours, and bound and Jeff, actually everyone, possibly you're sacrificing your beginning fortune number, like a certain number of them. I'm still pondering that to kind of even things out, because there's some people that aren't going to have those abilities, but they'd have all the extra fortune banked. So I'm pondering that. So if you want
I
to,
might use a fortune.
okay, you want to use a fortune?
I might.
Go right ahead. All right, cool.
As many successes as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, my bank would probably be smaller since I.
I actually got a success on one.
You'd have 2 starting off.
If I don't know.
That doesn't-
2, yeah.
That doesn't bother me in this case.
1 year and whatever that is.
Tulok's not bound anymore, is he? Because it's gone?
We don't have
Okay. Alright.
So do you have any focus or skill? Okay. So you have two successes.
Okay, I'll take it.
They start describing that they know that there was the Vilmarian Gate, or it was shepherds of the gate. It was an ancient organization that kind of protected knowledge. I don't want to be talking too fast for you.
No, go for it.
I
can take
gave
it.
you some notebook paper and that.
I know.
You did?
I
Okay.
like writing on this.
Okay, cool. But with they didn't just protect knowledge, but the level of thing. An example would be like that you might connect would be like Greek fire. This would be something that that kind of organization would have passed down to make sure it wasn't lost. But they protect it from the society as a whole until society was once again ready for it. And then they were taught. Then the other organizations split off, and they wanted to use it against something. The issue is we don't know what they were trying to use it against.
Okay.
That's pretty much all they. But they
Wait, which organization was using it?
using it.
Yeah.
Not the shepherds.
Okay, so the gate. Lost. Or, who's the organization? I don't know the other. Oh, we don't know the other organization, do we?
You do. Let me. I want to make sure that I say it again right again.
Oh, is it that word? Is it like Bond Creek or whatever that is? I don't know what that is.
Oh boy.
What is it?
Come on. It's in my notes. Really well organized here, I guess.
Doesn't let you die.
I'll get it to you when I find it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. I swear I have it in here.
Yeah, you probably do. Okay.
Just check it.
Did someone ask me something other than the name of that?
I had asked about the guy, the mystic guy, but you had already answered my question.
Okay, because he was a
so-
gun. He was
yes.
a gunsmith. Yeah. And any other questions here? Because if you recall, you do have your family ring again.
Yeah, I think it just like. Is that the most history I'm gonna get out of that?
They kind of revealed the whole
Okay.
quite a bit, and then they showed some of the items that they have. They like have a Sumerian chimera, like a smaller statue,
Mhm.
and then they have one of those shields. Like they're pretty proud of those items because like they're extremely rare.
Yeah.
So
What does the shield look like?
it looks like a lion with like a goat coming out of its back, and its tail is a serpent. And kind of going in a circle.
I don't know what I would use the shield for, but I kind of want it.
Is it bulletproof?
Definitely not.
Okay.
No.
It's bronze.
Oh, okay.
This is like
Oh,
Bronze
you-
Age. So
Gotcha.
It's not something you would practically carry. It'd just be a pretty.
Just another thing for your mules
Yeah,
to be
maybe
mad
I,
at.
Yeah. What's the
Yeah,
heaviest
show them
item you
the
can-
show them the ring.
Okay.
Could I show them the ring? See what they think about it. If they just like, they could just be like,
This
"That's
is-
a great ring."
Are you wearing the ring or just showing?
I don't know, every time
Probably
he's
wearing it
looking, he's
somewhere.
just-
Okay, well, this is where it gets really interesting because they both grab your arm. Now, putting in consideration, they have like bananas for fingers.
Mhm.
So like wrapping it around your, and you're like, you're pulled.
It's
and-
my only arm.
And it like Ivan like looks really
Jane would have like
close.
put her hand on your shoulder, like.
Well, because like they're just
Yeah.
and they're looking at it, and you can hear the breathing in from Ivan. It's beautiful, and they both release at the same time, and you're oh.
They're like,
Like you know that
Thank
feeling.
you.
You know that feeling when like you were holding yourself up,
Oh yeah.
and that release of tension in your shoulder. That happened from them just holding your arm. It's definitely an ancient ring.
Yes. Thank you. I walk away, look for stuff to take.
You're just kind of off put by
Yeah,
that?
just like, okay. I'm more off put by they almost squeezed off my good arm.
Well,
Yeah.
the fact that I'm still standing up there and I'm like,
But
Or
then-
I'd
yeah.
probably say like, thank you for telling me that before I left, and then like just walk really fast away.
So you're not grabbing any. You don't want anything
No,
else.
I want to get something. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking
Okay.
around. See if there's anything.
Is there something that you're kind of looking for, like in general?
just looking
Because this
for
is an
your-
apothecary as well.
Yeah.
I want my horse and carriage back.
You get moved.
Or are you just looking for something odd?
Is there any like? I think my first thing to draw me towards it is something like similar to like my ring or everything I study. But if not, it's probably just gonna be like a science, something to help that way.
Okay.
Making acids.
Well, first off, you're kind of off put. You got that weird feeling of just kind of walking away. And you go through, and there's a cat, like a cabinet there, and there's glass, and there's like a wrapped parcel with all this lettering and string wrapped around it. You kind of tip your head, and like that's a head underneath that, really tightly wrapped.
Curious.
That's one thing, and then you hear like unlatching from the behind the counter, and Dolores is starting to bring out jewelry boxes
Okay.
to show Jade. So you can.
Does the head look like? What's the inscribing? Do I understand the inscribing on that?
Roll a linguistics.
Linguistics might actually be good. Where's linguistics? Yeah, that's not bad.
during this time, Tulok's starting to test the balance of his
Two
new blade.
successes.
The new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You shouldn't be
Two
playing
successes.
with knives,
Two
like
successes?
three wins.
Two successes.
So what do you look? You do not know that language.
Dang it.
It is, but what you see is that there's some things that like it's definitely it's not
Do you at
necessarily.
least recognize the language, but not like understand it?
That's the thing. You kind of like it's old. It's not Egyptian. It's not Sumerian. It's somewhere. The location is definitely you're thinking more the Orient because it's more like kanji and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's going on. So
Can I observe the head to see if it has any significance? Like
Yeah, roll-
other than just being a head?
roll an observation, or you can do an observation or a mysticism, like just to kind of feel if it's mysticism. Mysticism is under awareness, and so is observation.
I would rather do the observation.
Okay.
It's not very good. One success.
One success. You're kind of staring at it, and it looks like the jaw kind of moved.
If I saw a jaw move, I'm taking it. Just
That's what you want? It's
Yep.
behind glass, so you're going to have to ask.
and then, no. Yeah, I'd ask for it.
Okay, so Ivan kind of walks. And,
Or I'd want to like hold it and see
Okay.
it first. But
well, Ivan is kind of moving in, and he moves the glass. He's be very careful. And he grabs, like, from where the neck stump would be.
I'd probably take it how he hands it.
Okay, and you grab it, and it feels really heavy, kind of like it's made out of stone.
I would say beautiful. And then I would ask Ivan, is it safe to remove the bandages?
No, that's why it's wrapped.
What would happen if I remove the bandages?
I don't know.
I want to
But
go
it would be
around
bad.
back and find out. Okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
Now I have a head. I have two.
Yes, you do. When you're spinning it around, it actually, from one spin, you're getting two.
Whoa. Okay.
So when the balance of it is a little off, but because of it, it's gaining extra momentum.
Gotcha. Very cool.
So there's all kinds of jewelry. Some of the rings still have fingers, like bone. Like, you definitely know that a lot of these were grave robbed.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Do they have any saints' finger bones?
Like New Orleans ones?
We have a. then he grabs. We have some memory totems. So like there's one with a bunch of family members' teeth in a little thing with. That's all we really have. I'm sorry.
Oh. Well, thank you. Okay. So
And Ivan
Hey.
did kind of leave and come back to make sure that you had someone to talk to.
Cool.
What was that, Frederick?
Oh, I was curious. Actually, if I didn't notice, then Frederick didn't notice. Okay, so Frederick will go up to Jade and he'll go, "Hey, boss lady, do you want to show our new friends
Hey,
the
boss.
robes that we found, or even the scribblings that I saw you take?"
I think that's a great idea. So, Jade would grab the scary robe
Yeah.
and just kind of like really quickly, but not like.
Yeah.
And then she'd get her
Yeah.
journal out.
Okay. Dolores is definitely intrigued by the fabric, and then but like right before she touches it, you can take it back.
What is it, Dolores?
That's a good sign.
Burn it.
Did you kind of explain where you got it?
I would have explained the whole like.
What mountain range are you talking
Well, it's no longer.
Erased from memory.
It's no longer there.
about? There's no mountains anywhere near
I think because the memories erased.
And then they're looking at your rubbings and stuff like that. And they're like, that is very off-putting. I don't like looking at it for some reason, but it draws me in.
Look at it more.
I'd close it. I wouldn't let him get possessed.
No. So he actually kind of tries to mimic writing some of them, and he's gonna look into it. And he's gonna try his best to get back to you with some of the people that he knows. Because you only did like 2 pages, I think.
I think I did three full pages
Okay, 3
total
full-
because I did the wall, I
Yep.
did some of the floor, and then I did it in the like the
Pillar thing.
pillar, the weird
Sacrifice.
the pillar thing,
Okay.
like where they worshipped. I got some stuff out of that.
Okay,
too.
so he tries his best for all those. because he doesn't want to take your stuff. And he's actually pretty good at describing. It looks funny, a little pencil and a giant hand, but he's pretty good at it, and he's very careful. And you guys are here for quite some time, and Jeremiah is just staying back the whole time. But then Jade does double check, and he's not in there.
Okay.
And you did hear the door like open and
Okay.
shut and open and shut again. So that's up to you guys.
Zilok's gonna give you a look that says, "Do you want me to go out there and check on him?" All right, so I'll walk out there just to take a quick gander, see where he's at.
Okay. Roll an observation. See if you can.
Oh, sorry.
Find it.
I don't think Jade would touch the room.
Okay.
I think when she picks it up and stuff, I'm gonna keep it on my
I'll
person.
wear it.
but-
No successes.
Right, you don't. You just kind of miss the timing of it. So you're like, okay, I don't see him. His horse is still there.
Okay. Well, I'll
Just
go ahead
timing.
and I'd let her Jade know that. I'd tell her the horse is still there, but I didn't see him.
Whose name was Friday?
So my friend can chat with you this evening. He doesn't like being in town, but I can show you where he'd be, and if anyone else wants to.
I'd be
it's
honored.
okay. Because it takes a really long time for them to actually explain everything, all those different things. Take the writings. You're there for multiple hours.
Yeah, for sure.
And you wrapping up your large items that you got, Frederick, definitely takes some time.
Yeah.
I don't know what he
So we can, if you guys have any more questions or anything you want to talk to them about, you can. Otherwise, we can kind of shift to that meeting time if you'd like.
Can I ask him real quick if he knows the story behind the blades?
Oh, my friend actually brought it in. You'll be talking to him.
Oh.
He felt like he needed to be here.
Oh.
destiny.
Destiny.
That's another cursed word.
Yeah, that's not a good word for my.
It's his
for Tulok.
cousin. His distant God's distant cousin.
You meant the axe murderer.
Well,
I mean
I
the
have-
knife murderer.
I have no further questions.
Okay. Do you have anything, Frederick?
I just remembered that Frederick lies about his hair color, so he's gonna go and look at the hair dyes.
All right. Well, Dolores would definitely help you, and she's used to this kind of thing, and it's talking about like, oh, you have a friend, like, and it's very convincing that you're wanting to get that for a friend.
That's so funny.
What friend? What friend?
And so that would be like 50 cents.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yep. So we could, if there's anything, do you have anything else you're wanting, Frederick?
I'm good.
Okay.
Is there like just alchemy bottles I could buy, just some spare?
Yeah, like, let's just say, like, you're just wanting empty alchemy bottles?
Yeah.
Let's just say $1, you got a whole bunch.
Okay.
So,
I'll use that.
okay, so, nearing evening, like, you can smell Dolores is cooking something, and they're, like, they offered for you guys to join them to eat if you guys want to. It's all but they just offered.
Will the blind man be there? The blindsmith?
If we eat, do we miss out on his conversation, or do
No.
we get to...
They offered that because you're most likely going to stay in the hotel, so they're just offering that you can eat there or the hotel.
I'll
So
eat with them.
Yeah, quiet evening.
Yeah,
There was someone we know and somewhat dressed.
Okay. Well, they kind of lead you back because the way things were, it seems they really appreciate that you did take care of someone that was hurting people, and you know they were competition for their business. Go through the Smith area. He's not seated in there, and then as you're walking through, you're smelling more of the aroma, and you go through another door, and it seems to be like a large courtyard's not the right word. Just a big opening behind a lot of other buildings.
Sure.
And Dolores is just kind of stirring this big cauldron of stew, and there's a bunch of people just kind of coming out of these different places, and none of the people look like a normal person. Like it's just like
mutated?
sideshow.
Okay.
Like this is literally sideshow people.
That's right. Okay.
You actually see Jeremiah now.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's
Join the circus.
what?
What?
Well, no, and he's seated. He's seated talking to this woman, and she's like giggling all the time.
Oh.
Yeah, but and he still has his hat off, and he's just chatting with her.
Both of us are like,
Could I walk up and say, "Hey, how's your rash doing?" and then slap him on the back.
Oh, no.
Roll a deception.
Oh no.
Don't
Where's my
start any
deception?
fights.
Yeah, I was gonna say, here we go. We're gonna have to fight all these people.
wait, are you
I said that
asking
to
him or
Jeremiah.
her? Oh, okay.
Not her.
That's better, but still terrible.
Where's my deception?
He goes up to her. How's your breath?
Oh, it's not good. I succeeded no times. I thought that was a 3. That was a 13.
For a split second, she like looks at you, and then you notice that she's got like 2 irises and pupils in both of her eyes.
Oh,
Like, but they're different. Like, the outside ones are blue, and then the inside ones are green. So it like,
That's cool.
yeah. So it almost looks like the infinity symbol in her eyes.
That's cool.
And then also you notice that she is wearing a dress, and she's got on her right hand it actually looks like 2 hands like this, and then left it has a partial like that as well, and she has 3 legs. And the only reason I'm describing that is because you'd definitely be noticing that.
it's things you don't miss.
Yes.
I would definitely be intrigued. I think Cedric would definitely be intrigued, not grossed out.
Yeah.
And then I would walk away very fast so Jeremiah doesn't kill me in one punch.
'Cause, he definitely gave you the stink eye. And I have so many notes for everything here.
It's like I'm losing my mind.
What?
I leaned over to the corner. He's like, "Can you hear that too?"
Yes, it's there. Well, I guess that's all right. So, did you try to listen to that conversation at all, or no?
No.
Okay. You've got probably got about 20 people, and the gunsmith is kind of seated, eating on his own. Well, eating. Them people are bringing him food, just to kind of help him. There seems to be a guy that's like an amputee with interesting shrapnel through his arm that seemed to have healed.
Shrapnel, like similar to the shrapnel I've had.
No.
Oh,
like
okay.
a spike.
Oh,
Like a,
very different.
Oh.
yeah, but it healed, and so it's something that, and you did notice that there's no signs for being like a sideshow or anything like that. They're all seem to be wearing like different trades, clothing, stuff like that. But this seems to be their safe haven.
Gotcha. Good for them.
The food is like a very hearty stew. Like you're like taking a bite, you're like, ooh, like there's a whole bunch of fat in it. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna be full. So,
Nice.
and there's like laughing and jokes and multiple different languages just kind of surrounding.
That's neat. Does anyone speak Tulok's native tongue?
Not native tongue, no.
Okay.
But there's definitely a lot of you've heard some of the words that Ivan and Dolores were saying to each other. So there's that language spoken kind of intermingled. It seems to be like the one other than English that they can kind of speak interchangeably.
I see.
So are you guys looking at anything in particular? Just kind of enjoying the.
Just enjoying. Tulok, I don't want to speak for everyone else. I'd just be
Jade
enjoying
would go
it.
sit by the gunsmith.
Okay.
I would go sit there too.
You
Yeah,
mind
of
your
course.
business up until.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have to talk to the gunsmith too much.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
He can see me without his eyes. He's,
And he actually, like, as you're from like across the area, like he just looks at you. And it is very off-putting. Someone with scarred eye sockets. Do you like sit next to him?
Yeah, I would sit next to
He
him.
like
Sit
offers
across
his,
from him.
like he sits. He offers a space, and then he kind of tips his head and looks at you and looks up and down your arm. It looks like.
mm-hmm.
And just. And he seems to like move his hand out there, and he actually throws something on the ground. Just sitting next to it. Yeah.
That's funny. Tulok wouldn't say much.
Are you just carrying your head under your arm this whole time?
I
You didn't
forgot
go
he
strap
has
it
a-
up to your mule.
I think I would be sitting by like the fire, if there's a fire, eating, and then the head is like between my legs right here. Or the bowl, yeah.
Jade would ask him if he had. He can. Okay, so before I do this, if I show him the markings, he'll be able to tell me if he's seen him or not. I don't want to be like, "Have you seen this before?" And he's like, "I'm blind." Oh, okay.
Well, like you could be like Jade is kind of an awkward individual. I want to see actually what she would say.
Okay.
Roll a persuasion.
No, I actually want to see what you think it would
Oh,
be.
play.
Yeah.
Yes. So Jade would, she would just all of a sudden be like, "So I have something I want to show you," just like,
Yeah.
and she'd grab her journal and she's like, "I saw these weird, this writing that I've never seen before. So I took markings of it, and I'm curious if you've ever stumbled upon it at any point. And it's okay if you haven't. I'm just curious. Since you can see Kent."
He kind of reaches his hand out. He grabs your book here. And he puts his hand over it and feels it. And just closes it kind of fast. Hands it over. Well, I don't want to ever touch that again. I don't know what that was, but I don't like it.
Okay. Thank you.
I
for
know that it's
checking.
old.
Jade would put it back at the point.
Good.
Just watching, not saying anything.
Good.
Just eating his stew.
Good. Frederick's probably just chilling.
Tulok would definitely give Jade a look though, like.
Yeah, Frederick's just chilling out. There's an ironic thing about him growing up with parties is he's not a party person.
All right then.
He prefers to just kind of sit around and be with people that he knows instead of meeting new people.
Okay. Well, the cool thing about this is like you're Frederick is still kind of a people watcher though.
Yes, he is.
He's kind of having flashback memories of some of the meals you've had with the Laveaux.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I see that.
So like kind of when they brought family in, because you weren't family, but members of the family would treat you that way.
Yeah.
The food you're eating is hearty, and it's just like the thing that's missing is like spices. But otherwise, it's pretty much like swamp food. So
Man, I wonder if they got any slap your mama.
some of them probably have. Yeah. So yeah. So if there's anything else you're trying to look or pay attention to. I know I didn't describe every single individual, but like if you had interest in them, I could just describe them. So.
Tulok's kind of just.
Jade would put the
Normally, he'd be much more interested.
Okay.
Jade would eat whatever she could, and she'd put her bowl down on the floor.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Tulok would clean it up for you, take it to wherever the bowls are and dump it. Not in like a romantic way, but he'd also get the blind guys. Just being nice.
Okay. Gerald thanks you as you're walking off.
Cool.
And he's like leaning forward, and it looks like he's kind of has his hands around something. He's kind of like would be like playing with a dog's ears. Like face. So, so the food is kind of taken out. The little bit of bonfire is kind of added to it, and then like there's singing and musical instruments and stuff like that. The woman that Jeremiah was talking to is singing, and it's like it's very interesting because she can, like a ventriloquist, can have two voices going at the same time. She's singing her own harmony, like at the same time. But it's like kind of at a different, like almost a different voice. And she's definitely like singing to Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That smooth
It's not
talker.
a surprise. Not
Yep.
a surprise.
Yeah, and but like the stars are out, and there's an individual that kind of comes in with Ivan. Ivan kind of tips his head down to go through like a different opening, and there's this old man with a walking stick, and he just the thing is that everyone would notice that his eyes are like reflecting the firelight, like a lot more than you're like. That's a little more than usual. So, and the other people, like the music kind of dies down, and there's like kind of a reverence, and they just kind of mosey on out, and the girl kind of like was pulling Jeremiah away, and he's like, oh. And he just kind of sits down because he's with you guys now. So
Well,
That's right. Put some respect on that.
that's on pause.
Does everyone kind of like scoot back and stand up when he comes in? Or is it?
Ooh, good question.
okay,
Tulok
the-
would.
being that you're pretty good at reading different cultures, Frederick, you notice that the like the Eastern European and those like bow their head and like do stand up. Then like some that are more like Orients, they stay low and back out. Like it's very subtle, but there's
Okay.
yeah. So and Gerald just sits. He doesn't give a care. I like Gerald.
He's got the dog.
Well, I'll stand up from my seat when he comes in.
Okay. All right. He takes a seat. Like they move one of what they're sitting on kind of close to you, like automatically.
Oh gosh. Right in front of everybody.
Yep. Well, and Ivan just kind of motions his hand, and he just kind of lifts his hand, like doesn't even need anything. And he starts speaking in a language you don't understand, and then he
Okay.
recognizes in your face that you're not.
Yeah.
Well, I am not of your tribe. My people are no longer here. I am all that is left.
I grieve the loss of your brothers and sisters.
They gave themselves for a good cause. How may I help you?
Tulok's gonna look around. Because he's not normally emotionally vulnerable. This is pretty new territory for him, especially in front of other people. He's gonna look around for a second. What language are we speaking? We're speaking everyone's English.
It's English because
Okay.
that's
Because he doesn't know my language. Yeah, I don't know his. Okay. Just checking.
yeah.
Tulok would go, I am lost. I don't know who I am or why I am any longer.
Well, what's your name?
Tulok.
Seems like you do know who you are. Are you wondering about your purpose?
Yes.
And then, like, Ivan kind of, he picked up on, you guys were pretty kind of chatty about the axe in the area. He just says a few things. I've heard of such things. Experienced some long ago. But never heard of someone angry or something. Did you ever sell that thing I brought? And then Ivan's like, he hasn't. Show the
Tulok
blade.
would reverentially
Yeah.
hand it out.
Oh, he's like, hand up. And he's like, that is yours. But if you once had the ability to be bound, you can bind to that.
Another one.
Now, that is simply made from something that allows you to do that if you have the ability.
Tulok's like,
Because you do not feel the amount of power.
Okay.
All that is made from the same thing that you still have the ability to do that, but only with that.
Does it have any kind of, do I need to roll anything to tell if it's got any kind of spirit or any kind of thing? Can I ask the medicine man?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any consciousness attached to this? Is there any special powers? Is there any evil price to pay for this?
I want to put it in a shop that someone could get if there was. All the abilities you once had, you just won't be helped by whatever that was.
How do I bind to it?
Just have it next to you while you sleep. Not in your bed or anything, but just
Yeah. Yeah.
a cuddle the knife.
Why didn't I wake up?
Just
Wake up.
Dead.
Wake me up.
Yeah. So
I just imagine like Jane is like trying not to be like too like nosy, so she's
Yeah.
like can't get up now. So
yep.
Tulok would take it and slide it back in its holster and say, but why am I here? Everything that I thought I was and the reason I left my people turned out to be a lie. I no longer know what the truth is or why I'm even here.
Well, if you the lies you once thought, you know the truth now. Correct? So you have actually found the truth and can continue to find the truth. If you would have stayed home, you never would have known. Pain is something that occurs on every journey. How you use it is your choice.
What about the lives I took?
some way of atoning.
She's over there with the highest kill count. Like,
Well, he's not talking about
And
just
she doesn't
kills.
feel bad about it at
yeah,
all.
no, there's no.
He's not talking about just kills. He's talking about the ones he sacrificed to the axe. That
And,
when he
and,
thinks they're
and
right
now
there.
and you have noticed that Gerald keeps like looking up.
He's like, bro, why are you sitting by me?
He and I are in the same boat right now.
Yeah, and you do notice this individual does kind of give Gerald like kind of peer,
Okay.
but kind of just certain things, and he does turn to him and Gerald just kind of just starts talking about the metal itself of the blade. I've never worked with it. I've only heard of it, seen it twice. And he looks at you, Frederick, thrice. There's a. I'm thinking it could be from a meteorite or something, but there's something different about it. When something's made from it. And then the medicine man starts tossing little bundles of stuff into the fire, and there's like a better,
But definitely.
like a sweeter smelling
Mhm.
smoke, and you just kind of feel like it's just soothing.
Yeah.
Your journey started to find answers. You have found the truth you didn't want to know. But this truth should hopefully lead you to a better place. If you make the world that way.
Tulok would. They're close enough that he can reach over and grab forearms with each other. Tulok would lean over and grab forearms like his people do, and he would speak basically a blessing in his language. That it's what they would do. It's like a reverential thing to those who are the patriarchs in their society. No, I can't speak the language.
When his hand, you hadn't seen his kind of cloak kind of covered his hands.
Okay.
When his hand grasps you,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like he has claws,
Whoa.
and his hands are cold.
I have no idea what that means. I'm not gonna
Does he
ask
have a
him.
hood on?
What are they wrinkly like an old
do we not-
man's? Or they look like lion paws?
Do you not see his face?
You can see the fire reflecting.
Yeah, in his eyes. That's the main. You
Yes,
just keep getting
eyes.
brought to his eyes.
What color is his garments? Does he have any visible tattoos on his arm now that I'm grabbing it?
No.
Interesting.
His hands are scarred though.
Okay.
Scarred, old. But and his fingernails are actually black.
Okay, and they're long?
Yeah.
And he's cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like not clammy, like kind of
Body
like your
temperature lower.
yeah, body temperature lower. His clothing are like animal, like
pelts.
leather.
Okay.
Pelts. Like very very thin leather that had been worked to. And then when he releases, like you automatically feel that it's kind of like you touched like a cold rock. You kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably do that a couple of times then. Is there anything I can give you in return? Where I'm from, we'd give sacred rocks.
I think you and your troop did something for this land that needed to be done long ago. That is more than enough. He just starts getting up.
Tulok would stand with him.
Good.
Yep.
And he just kind of starts. Ivan just kind of stands at the doorway and he kind of steps out and once he leaves that area, like the fire starts like getting brighter. Kind of. You're almost.
Interesting.
And you do not get his name.
I did not.
Nope.
Well, So, fun fact, where my people are from, the medicine men did not have names unless they offered it to you because they were sacred. So Tulok could not ask his name without being disrespectful. At least where he's from. A little bit different, I think, maybe in the south, I don't know, but
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I think you got most of the answers you wanted.
yeah, I think so. With that, Tulok would promptly drag his little stool or stump or whatever he's sitting on
Yeah.
a little bit closer to the fire so you can continue to smell it.
Yep.
And he'd cross a leg and he wouldn't say a dang word to anybody
Yep.
about what just
Yep.
happened.
Yep. Okay.
Jade's seen like two. Jade's always been present for everything that's almost transpired, except you guys drinking the
The stuff. Yep.
Frederick drinking the
Oh my
stuff. So I
gosh,
feel like
that's so
Jade's
stupid.
like at this point she's always like.
Yep. Oh man. All right. Let's see. So like kind of after he leaves, like. Some people come back in, like it's kind of like back to like the jovial,
Yeah.
like a mini party, I guess.
Yeah.
And whenever you guys want to, you can go to sleep. If there's any chatting you want to do.
Jade would be ready to go to bed.
Okay.
I would thank Gerald for his time.
Okay.
We didn't actually talk, but his presence was soothing for too long, so.
To most, it's unsettling. So cool.
Tulok's weird. I love him.
Yeah,
Everybody's weird.
Jade would definitely like shake his hand before she
Okay.
left.
And you shake his hand, and then you've got two 45 long cool cartridges in your hand.
Okay.
And you're like, wait a second, his hand was empty. And you're like, touche. you know, like you can tell when someone knows sleight of hand, and you're like, I bet just well done.
Blind man just
Cool.
pulled the finesse.
Yep.
Cool.
And it looks like pretty much the exact same, those silvered rounds.
Right, that I. Okay.
You just
We
have
didn't
two.
use in the snakes. And Tulok would, assuming everyone was ready, he wouldn't rush off on his own, but if everybody's ready, he'd be ready to go back to the hotel and
Yeah, Jade would do it.
get some sleep. It's pretty light.
Cedric would just be by the fire,
Mhm.
kind of scribbling. Like he's got the head
Yeah.
right here, and he's like kind of like
Sketching it.
drawing along with the. And that's basically his night, I guess,
Okay.
until he goes off to bed at 5 in the morning or
Okay.
whatever it is.
Well, when you start testing like the weight of it,
Mhm.
it coincides with something that's like pretty much like a marble head.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
you've held that before. Like you knocked that over when you were a kid. You're like, oh no, I broke Grandpa's head off of it. It's bust. You're trying to put it on. So you and your brother Hansel definitely like mixed flour together and water and like put it in there, and, like stuck it on there and like wiped it like. So it like would barely hold, and then you like blamed it on the cleaning
It's
lady.
very obvious.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So you're having distinct memories of that weight. So, yeah. So, and Jade would have paid with the money that you guys had been given. It's a pretty quick trek to Yuma and then the train to go back.
That night, Tulok would pull the blade out.
Okay.
He would say a quick prayer to his ancestors, and trusting the word of the medicine man, he would just lay it next to him and hope that nothing terrible was going to happen.
Okay. Did sleeping arrangements? Did you guys kind of get your own rooms, or did you?
He would not do it unless he was in a room by himself, so he would ask for his own room, but he wouldn't tell anyone that's why he was
Are
asking.
there muffins?
Not.
I get my own room because I stay up late.
Okay. So everyone has their own rooms. Okay.
I'm waiting for the day that like
Except
somebody's.
Jeremiah.
Did you guys keep an eye on them?
He
Like what?
turned that one.
I mean, he did, but
Unless he
who's to
did it
say he didn't
later
go to
on.
another one?
Bold of you to assume.
I didn't assume, I'm just saying who's to say he
And,
didn't.
and no one actually talks to him or asks him about anything. So.
I talk to him. It's just
A little
like
bit, yeah.
I feel like I can only talk to him so much.
Yeah. Okay. So your night is horrible.
Dang it. Back
Because-
to normal.
No, because you're reliving those
just
individuals'
like
lives
Oh, okay.
again and again. Burrow, you're going through like him, like being trained to be a 3-bell mule, like, and he was a good mule, and then you're actually starting to feel kind of the emotions that he had to you, and like he actually did care for you in some way. Then the woman that owned the mercantile, you're seeing why she had issues with those anyone from a tribal background. When her family was coming west when she was younger, she had 5 kids and her husband, and they went too far south and sadly went through Comanche area, and she barely survived. Then the hotel owner, there was another individual that looked very similar to yourself, that was one of the very few people that was nice to him in his life.
Oh,
Dang.
we thought he was a pervert.
You also.
Everyone thought of that.
Good times.
And-
Probably still could have been. I mean, we don't know.
But,
But,
and another thing is he, his vision wasn't the best. That's why he would feel people's arms.
Okay.
But during you seeing all this, you're constantly hearing their screams of pain.
Nice. Wonderful.
But near the ending of the night, you do feel like a swirling feeling, like when.
don't look at me like that. I'm scared as you are.
Well, no, that you have that sensation that you have control over something that you can move around.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
That one goes after Lily too.
I was just thinking
Now,
that.
Release the.
the thing is in your dreams you don't.
Nothing about Lily.
No, but you do. Not that night, but you're just. It's almost like you had when the initial when the axe moved from you. There was like a tearing in yourself, and it seems like part of yourself went with it. You know that.
Yeah.
Right now, it's almost like you're healing, but those individuals that sadly were given
Mm-hmm.
to this entity, you're learning about them. So then there's Frederick. You have nightmares of snakes, lots of flippin' snakes.
Indiana Jones.
Yep. And Cedric, you actually feel like you're being chased by your hand.
One of those silly dreams.
Sure.
I don't think it's silly.
Silly
Yeah.
goofy mood.
I think it's possessed.
It's all
Yeah,
rainbows.
it was. It was messed up. All right, so we can go to the train ride if you guys want to.
Okay. He's got bags under his eyes. His sleep was not too restful.
You did rest, but it's
Mentally did not rest.
Did Jade have any dreams or nightmares?
It's that last
She-
name.
She's like, violence.
well, the interesting thing about Jade, from my understanding, is she does not have. If she feels someone needs to die and she does it, she doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have.
There's
Compassion.
absolutely, there's no,
Yeah.
there's
So,
no feelings
you don't-
whatsoever.
You don't feel that, but you. So you'd have like swaying dreams between like time with Kent, maybe just kind of like having riding time with Thaddeus, like a lot of emotion of kind of a lot of confusion. But it's and then there's like a strange feeling in your gut, like when you touch the robe. But it's only when in a dream that you start to turn, like feel like you're being watched. You kind of turn, and then it turns into another dream. So that's like you're dreaming, but you notice it's almost like you're coming out of a dream for a second because you're like, I'm being and then you're not transferring into another one. So that's really what you're remembering, that strange feeling in that. Yeah.
I still haven't touched mine yet. It's wrapped up in the bag.
Well,
That
you're
little bag on the horse.
I'm just saying that the feeling, not necessarily like from
Right,
that. It's just
right.
yeah. So anything special on the train ride, or you just kind of resting?
I chit chat with Jeremiah.
Okay.
Just check in with him. Make
I'd
sure
check
he's
in
doing
on it with
okay.
you too. Well, before I get up on a train, I would see if, whenever I wake up in the morning, I would hold my hand out and see if the blade that I left out on the ground comes to my hand.
Yep. You have total control. But now the thing is, you have the bound abilities,
Okay?
and you have a feeling that you can still do dismember,
Okay?
but it's something isn't helping you. It's within your own, because you've
I
learned
see.
how to do it.
I
Now,
see.
the way I kind of describe your dismember is because you're controlling a piece of metal. In essence, you're controlling the metal in someone's body, kind of like Magneto, but very specifically.
Very cool.
So,
Okay. Well, that's all I would do with it. I'd just
Okay.
stick it right in the holster. Wouldn't get. Then I'm on the train.
okay. And you wanted to chat with Jeremiah's like when he goes and takes a smoke break, or
Yeah,
or
I go out with him
okay,
since that's what we do on the train rides.
yeah, there's
Just little buddies and pals.
yeah.
I'd probably go with y'all just to talk to Jeremiah.
All right.
I haven't talked to him since it was a scary day. So,
All right.
and I have to ride a horse with Frederick, so I'd already talked to him.
You definitely talked to him.
I'm
Yeah.
coming back.
What?
I said, I'm coming back. I'm coming back to talk with you two, Luck.
It's all of us
Oh
that
my.
are out there.
Jeremiah's like, "Leave."
What is Cedric doing?
Drinking in
He's
this
just playing
big
with
bar
the head, I
cabin.
guess.
Okay, all right.
Cleaning up dismembered heads.
Okay, so he's just
Well, I envisioned, this is exactly how I envisioned this. So I come out all like calmly and stuff,
Yeah.
and then it's like all of a sudden everybody else just like packs out of the door really fast.
And so, like-
all of us are out there, and it's
so
like
you've got like
It's a crowded area.
you've got a banister that
Yeah.
that holds it. So Jeremiah's like kind of tucking himself into the corner of it.
Tulok's so big too.
Well,
like-
and he's like he has to keep holding his boulder head. He's like he's just kind of like
jumps off to Jade. Jade's like,
How you doing, Jeremiah?
Wait, are they in the corner?
No, we're on
No,
the
this-
caboose.
Are they
The
out?
balcony.
it's in the back of the caboose because
Oh.
that's where he just wanted to go out there and smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, Tulok definitely
It's
talked over because he
crowded.
didn't realize you were about to say a sentence. How you doing, Jeremiah? Hanging in there?
Yep.
Jade would also, she would smoke too while she was out there.
Pipe or cigarette?
Cigarette. She likes her pipe, but she doesn't use it super often.
But and also on a bumpy train, you don't
Yeah.
want to drop it off.
Yeah, it's a really nice pipe. So.
Yeah.
Well, glad to hear that. It was a rough couple of days.
Yeah.
If you need something, you let me know.
All right.
All right. Tulok's gonna walk
Wait.
right back
Well,
out.
you can't walk out because Frederick's right
Oh
there.
well, yeah. So I'm gonna
Wait,
like bump.
before-
Oh, hey, Frederick.
Before he leaves, I want
Oh, hey, hey.
Cedric to be like, "What are you all doing back here? Why did you invite me?"
Oh, God.
We're all like,
I walk up a little slurred just because I'm drinking.
Oh, God.
You started the party without old Cedric over here, and then I give a nudge to Frederick. And I have my head like this. The head's just right.
Oh, hey, I wanted to ask you about that.
hey, why don't you guys have that conversation inside the train? It's a little crowded out here right now.
Hey. Yeah. Sure. Just enjoying the fresh air, but okay.
Well, we don't
All
want
right,
Cedric
then.
to lose
Lose
his
his
head.
That's the best joke you've ever made in your life.
Jade would be like smiling a little bit.
Wow.
T-Lock would walk back into the trade cabin.
You can't until
You
they
can't.
do.
We
I
can't.
thought they
We
did.
haven't
Frederick
moved.
said it
We
was.
haven't
Oh,
No,
I thought
no.
Frederick said he backed up.
So you're going.
Well, T-Lock's big enough.
No, there's two of us. You have to push two of us. I'm like right behind Frederick.
And so also, there's people that are in the caboose,
Yeah,
like
there's
that's
other
where they're
people
seated,
in
and
there.
they're watching this really. Like there's this like older woman that has like a little spittoon, just like spitting her chew up, and it's like dribbling down.
We're such a motley crew. And I'm gonna kind of look behind me and go, Cedric, you got room to back up over there?
You know, I was trying to think of a head pun, but I couldn't. So I'm just going to go now. I'm gonna just back up a little bit.
I'm gonna look at Frederick, kind of like,
And then I walk back up and peek over Frederick. And I say, Jeremiah, how are you doing?
I was enjoying myself.
Well, you look great. So.
Well, thank you.
come on, Cedric. I
You're
wish I
welcome.
could stay there.
Oh god.
Well, T-Lock's just gonna like awkwardly shimmy past Frederick to get back in the trade cabin.
Yeah, right. I'll just wait for Frederick.
Alright.
Talk about
Yeah.
the head.
I wouldn't go too far away, but I'm just making room, making
Okay.
space. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Do you want me to ask you about the head here,
Oh,
or you want to go in there so they're a little bit more comfortable out here?
I mean, to be honest, I have no idea what's to see, so anywhere's fine.
Did you start unwrapping it in the caboose?
Oh, sure.
Go.
No, I was just curious. If you ever want to talk to that, you can just, you know who to call.
Ghostbusters.
No, me.
I don't know what that is. It just came out.
I have no
I'm
concept.
sick.
What is a Ghostbuster? Anyway, yeah, no,
Sounds
if you would know anything about this, and I like point at the writing,
Everybody in the caboose
like,
right now.
'cause I tried to discern it, and I have no idea. It's not something I recognize.
No, Cedric, I'm no scholar. Sorry, I actually skipped a couple classes. But no, I mean, you can learn some first-hand knowledge from whoever this probably was. You know, I've spoken with Ed a couple times.
You can do that?
Yeah, we can do that. You can help me out.
Ooh, okay. I think the reason I was attracted to it because I think I saw its jaw move, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not supposed to happen."
Oh, you might not even need my help then, friend.
I don't want to try it.
I want to try it.
I've been said no, don't do it, and I was like, but I want to do it. And he was like, no, don't do it. So I was like, okay, I won't.
Oh, Cedric. Sometimes you just gotta flip a coin on it.
Listen,
And when it's in the air, your heart will truly know what you want.
We're the big Tesla
last
gun.
time I tried that, I made a man-eating baby named Hansel, and he's the love of my life. So we should do it.
What's the old lady
I mean, yeah,
doing
that's
right now?
great.
She's like what I'm imagining is they didn't walk entirely out of the
No.
caboose.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like right.
They're just like right in the middle of it talking like this, and she's and like it just like the chew's like dribbling out, like just takes it out.
What is this? They got legs and stuff.
Excuse us, madam.
Oh, sorry, Karen. I didn't realize this was public place.
she's just like super awkward, and like her carpet bag's like right next to her. She's like hugging it closer to her.
Maybe we should take this back to our car, gentlemen.
Man,
Wait, are you with us?
all this call
Yeah.
me crazy.
Oh.
but
I was holding the door for you both.
Oh,
You're gonna want to take a horseshoe and nail it above your bedroom door tonight, in the shape of a U. Otherwise, if you put it upside down, the good luck is gonna flow out.
okay.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's from anybody, but man, I'm hearing that for you.
I do
Ma'am,
what he
if you-
says.
Ma'am,
gosh.
if you can't tell.
Big O's told me. I do what he says. Trying to be really kind, but not having that effect.
Ma'am, if you can't tell, my friends here are crazy.
Yeah, from the guy holding it. Like, it looks like a severed head and wrapped in
I'm
paper.
petting it as I say.
Jade-
All right, fellas, tap you both on the back.
Jade would look
It's alright,
like
he's a doctor, right?
at the land and just take
Certified.
like a really long drag of her cigarette. She's would look at Jeremiah and be like, "You ever think of jumping?"
I heard we're jumping.
We go, matter of fact, quite often since being with you.
So Tulok's gonna kind of guide Frederick and Cedric back towards our car. Presumably, it's just us in our car. I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
as we're walking in the car, I'd say to Friedrich, let's do this when we get off the train and not here.
Yeah, of course. That's a good idea.
Sweet.
No, I
So,
feel like
Tulok, wrapping an arm around you.
Do I have to crouch a little?
Not too bad.
I understand. I guess, are you feeling any buyer's remorse about losing your axe?
What do you mean buyer's remorse?
Can that be silly?
Like you finally achieved something that you incredibly desired, and the epitome of it is very lackluster.
If you think I desired any part of this to end the way it did, you are sadly mistaken.
No, I'm just wondering.
I am
Just
no
checking
longer
in.
I am no longer bound to a bloodthirsty, sacrificial, manipulative, brain rewiring entity of some unknown place and time. But that is the only plus.
It sounds like a really big plus. So good. I'm glad for you.
That made
That's-
Tulok
That
chuckle a
sounds
little.
terrible. I'm so sorry. I didn't pick up on some of that sooner.
Tulok chuckled a little and put his arm on your shoulder and he's like, "Ah, Frederick."
Yeah, I know. I picked up on a lot of it. I'm glad you're back to normal. Strangely, I never knew you at normal.
You know, I've probably gone a long time since normal, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's like a new start.
Tulok's just gonna grab a drink and like, okay.
Yeah, of course. Hey, I was thinking when we get back, I can try out that peyote that you gave me.
Wait, I gave you shade.
Tulok's gonna look around and go, "Think you can handle that?"
what is happening right now?
Yeah, what is happening?
This
Uh,
is romance to the next
Yep,
I
level.
don't know.
Strange bro.
I hope.
Maybe Frederick was the escape.
We gotta find out, Tulak. We've got to find out. You know what they say in Louisiana?
I don't.
Laissez bon temps rouler. It means let the good times roll.
All right then.
Talking with the spirits is letting the good times roll.
Ken, something to that.
I mean, it's a good time for me.
Yeah, he's
So
making
far, no
love
one's been
to
having a
us.
bad time because of it.
Whoa! Hey, yo!
So anyway,
Not so.
I don't like this conversation anymore.
so I imagine Jade and Jeremiah would not say another word to each other. They would just be standing on the balcony.
Yep.
Like that would be it.
Because like you're hearing that behind you, and you're like, I should probably do something about that. I'm not gonna do something about
Yeah,
that.
I'm not going in there. But then it's like, how do I even have a conversation now? Because
Yep. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, there's your.
train ride.
Yep.
Eventful.
Cool.
Yeah. I was looking for a gift to send to everybody, but
You can do that.
I feel like I didn't have anything else to say with that conversation.
Well, all right. So it was a multiple day journey, if you recall. It was
Right.
4 days on the train. So,
Lots of time
It's
to
a,
rest.
Awkward 4 days.
all right.
No, Tulak wouldn't let it be awkward all 4 days. Just definitely the first, maybe second as well.
Probably the third.
Probably third.
The last hour of the 4th day would be fine.
Yeah.
So, you guys are back to Talent Trail. So you guys got your you get off the train, you get your horses and everything, and you notice that Jeremiah has another hearse in essence. Looks a lot older, but he's got one again.
Good for him.
Nice, nice.
You're going in, and the hotel does not look the same.
Same.
It's- No, it's just the color is a lot more vibrant. And
Oh,
there's
no.
certain things. What?
Is it a jade?
Yeah. Yeah. The roof has been fixed a really long time, but the shingles are newer. There are definitely a certain flower hanging from a lot of the. So,
Welcome to your penthouse, girl.
yeah.
Hey, you guys should
This
be
color.
thanking me because you guys are also reaping the benefits.
Yeah.
This color is awful. It does not match the vibe.
Tulak
Stop.
just shakes his head.
Vibe.
Now, Tulak's gonna look for Lily's shop and
Ooh.
see.
Okay, you walk past it, and it's not like it was Henderson's.
Mhm.
It is the desert flower.
Like walks past them quickly.
And she's not in it.
Can I go in the shop and see? Okay.
The
so
old guy's there.
I'm gonna ask him. Have you seen Lily recently?
Not for like 8 days. She just left after she named the shop. She just left.
Did you see anything peculiar happen to her or around her?
Yeah, she left the shop.
Did she have any kind of weaponry, or did she favor one of her arms? Did she take anything with her?
Actually, no. She just left.
Do you mind if I look in her room?
Oh, you pervert.
I am of noble intention, sir.
Heard that before. Roll a persuasion. And you're the only one in there.
Yep.
Y'all left me hanging. But,
Well,
You didn't even say a word to any of us.
Yeah.
I just imagine you were like.
I gets off the train and beelines it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
All of us are probably still getting
I
our
was
bags
too busy
and our
complaining about the
horses.
color of the
Yeah.
wall. Disgusting.
oh my
I'm
goodness,
interested
it's
in
not
what
great.
the mercantile looks like.
It's probably not worth a
It's-
fortune, huh?
The mercantile looks like it hasn't been opened in days.
I wonder why. Of course, I know why, but Frederick will, of course, investigate. Not like actually investigate,
Why
just be
does
like
he know why?
sad that it's not open.
Good.
He wants
Would
to
you
give
like a dread, sir?
Oh,
Just one for one dice. I don't think it's worth a fortune.
just
but-
1 second. So that is 1,
Oh no, he's gonna spend it against me.
2,
What?
3.
Listen,
No, this is the number of dread that I start with.
Each turn.
Oh.
But I'll modify the fortune next time. So,
2 successes.
for persuasion,
Yes.
I remember her talking about you and talking to you. So yes.
Okay. So
and it takes forever for him to go up the steps.
I just
Tulak would be
envision,
much
like,
more patient than he used to be.
every time he takes a step up, like, it's like, and then he's like
Yep.
right behind him.
See, now Tulak normally would be very impatient or try to just get around him or carry him up, but he
Carry
keeps
him?
remembering the old woman.
Okay. You go into this room that is like everything is perfectly placed. There is a wardrobe with like some of the, well, to you it'd be the craziest looking cloth and everything, and the dress, like multiple of those dresses that you saw her wearing that day that you,
Yeah.
that she had handmade, and like there's like drawings of things like things that you had seen that were her dreams,
Okay.
and there's a pile of notes that seem to have been ones that were going to go to you that kind of got crumpled up and got rewritten.
Can I read to see what they're rewritten to be? Or is it anything after the axe?
Roll a observation.
Just one success.
Doesn't seem to be anything else.
And there's no clues around for anything about why she left or if the axe came flying through a window or a door.
There's no damage anywhere. It's
no blood, anything. Okay, well, I'm going to thank the man for his time and ask if he needs any help getting downstairs, if I can carry anything down for him while I'm up there.
He gets pretty crocky with it. I can do it myself. And that's Mr. Henderson. He's the one that owned the shop, and actually, she had bought it from him.
Okay.
And so, right after she did that, renamed it, she just left. So he's like, he doesn't know what he's supposed. He doesn't
Yeah.
know what he's
He's
supposed
maintaining the shop, but
He's
he's
like-
like,
to do.
Okay. Well, if he didn't need any help, then I'll just extricate myself politely and let him know if he needs anything, come find me around town.
All right then.
Go back and help these guys with their bags or whatever.
Are you actually checking the mercantile itself, Frederick?
No. Seeing it's not open, I would probably ask the neighbors if the lady is sick.
Oh, she died.
What?
Yeah, we don't know what happened. She's just gone. Like
She Thanos.
like something kind of. It's like it was horrible.
Was it bloody and messy and terrible?
Yeah, we can't. We don't know what to do. It looked like she was just kind of walking in there. Just look through the window. Like,
Can I catch up to him at this point?
Okay.
and you're looking through, like they had. You're noticing now that there's parchment on the inside, and you're kind of looking through the.
Yeah.
It looked. They took the cadaver out, the corpse, and it looks
Yeah.
like they tried to clean up the blood, but they couldn't. It just is like
Golly.
everywhere.
And they don't know what happened to the...
No.
Jade
Who's
Ross
the
over
next?
there, and,
Who's the next of kin? Who's gonna own this?
What does the body look like?
The body was they.
It's gone.
Yeah, they took it out of there.
Yeah,
it
but
happened
did,
days ago.
did it look like it got cut through by magical axe? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Young
You can't
drugs.
ask the other, like,
That's
what?
why I'm not asking. That's why I'm asking what the body looks like.
So next of kin, all we know is all the money that she had when she came here, she used to build this place up on her own. She doesn't have anyone.
Frederick will make the cross, and then I guess does the state own it? Town own it?
Well, right now the town, the sheriff are just keeping people away. They're trying to figure that out. I think some of the businesses that gave her her stock are working on possibly getting someone here to to purchase it, but who is the money gonna go to? It's a mess.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I think I might know somebody who might want to purchase it, but man, that's just so terrible to hear.
It's the
Yeah. Well, my condolences. I know you don't, but anyway.
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you know her longer than I. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway.
I just imagine Jade standing there and it's like,
So, and this is all before you guys go into the hotel.
yep,
Like,
yep, just stacking on the things.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done.
No.
Well, should we go see Thaddeus?
Cedric.
And then
Okay.
I'm gonna lean over to Jane and go, should we go see Thaddeus?
Cedric
Did you
started
find
walking
Lily?
towards the hotel.
No.
Okay.
He wants to
David
show
walked
Thaddeus the head.
Yeah, you haven't told anybody, so
Yeah.
I was like, he was
She goes,
so
I said, we should go see Thaddeus. And she goes, did you find Lily? I was like, no. And she goes, and she goes storming off. And I was like, pull out my new magic knife. And I'm like, okay, don't do that.
Oh my gosh.
That was just a joke.
It's
I'm
like,
pretty sure Jade would just
Oh gosh.
That'd be terrible.
Lily, we didn't find a shopkeeper.
There's 2 shopkeepers MIA. So. So going in.
Oh, that is weird. Could have a serial killer on the loose.
Gotta make sure Thaddeus.
And so you actually.
She's like, what is this axe to?
Oh God, they're making more money.
She's like, I never liked her. She was rude to me. Axe is like, say less.
Okay. So going in, the interior really doesn't seem to have changed all that much. There isn't like stacks of tables and chairs. It is kind of there is kind of like more of a reception desk that is, if you recall, there was that area, the initial opening, and Loretta is kind of there.
Oh, welcome back.
And I'll go let Thaddeus know that you came back. And she slowly gets up. Yeah, and you just kind of follow her, and
Until I would have offered his arm if she would have taken it to help her walk.
that's how it all begins.
yep.
He just.
You don't know what that means, but
Yep, he does. So goes up. She knocks on his office door, and come in. And it opens up, and his facial hair is kind of disheveled. Looks like it's kind of grown in a little bit because it's not. He isn't shaving it, and he's like moving papers around. He glances up. He gets super excited when he sees somebody. He gets up as fast as he physically can.
It's definitely.
It is you. So,
Yes.
and then he's tries to play it off and does not do well. Yeah. So, well, come sit. And then he like offers you like whatever you.
Can I sit down in that chair before she gets there? Just like,
Thank
you, buddy.
Slide it.
Yeah. So yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Now the office looks. There's a lot more stacks of paper and stuff like that. He's like, I'm sorry, I've been. There's an incident here that someone seems to be like horribly murdered at the Mercantile, and then Miss Lily just disappeared a few days ago. Wow. And so I've been doing my best to help the sheriff the best that I can, but it doesn't it doesn't make any sense at the moment. So, but
Oh, Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Thaddeus. After you finish sharing your story, I think we might be able to shed a little bit of light for what happened with Lily.
Wait, do we know this?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nobody
He said,
asked
like-
me what
he said,
happened when
like,
the axe
we-
ripped off.
You didn't really want to talk, so I don't know why you expect
nobody
us to.
Yeah.
I would have said no, but nobody asked.
It seems I may have forgotten to mention this to my colleagues as well. My mistake. But please carry on. Share what you need to first. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, I didn't.
We there wasn't really anything else he was doing.
Well, so how do I even begin? The axe seems to have manipulated me and my memories of the past. And during our fight with the snakes in the underground
The
mountain
what?
range,
What are you talking about?
I'll fill you in. But during the fight with the snakes in the underground pyramid and through the cave and the traps and the boobies and the booby traps that in the mountain
No.
fell apart. Golly.
It's the twins.
Cedric's like, I don't
The
remember
twins.
that.
Yeah, it's the twins and the burrow getting eviscerated.
I must have
All
tried
of
too
that
much.
to say that it tricked me. And when we were in desperate need of help with our fight, I told the axe that it could have Lily if it helped us to slay the snakes and
Is Jeremiah
get out
there?
alive.
Yeah, he's in the.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just checking.
I did
and you,
not.
And you just said that out loud.
Well, he's trying to explain, but yes,
You just said that you gave the axe Lily.
yes, but that was like in the middle of a sentence.
I mean,
So
where is that?
I did not know at the time what that meant.
You-
Hey, I'm trying to talk here.
So is
Really
she.
hard to finish my monologue.
Well, so is she on a train. You cut her off. So.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
With the head joke.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it meant, and the world was red, and it was a mess. I did not know that this would happen, but I think that when we left the mountain, the axe tore itself from me and has now bound itself to her. I do not know for certain, but that is my guess. Come to find out, the axe tricked, or maybe it didn't trick. Maybe my father knew, but my father did the same thing to me. And this is how the axe goes from person to person.
Okay. Well, number one, how far did you go to actually go to mountains?
Pretty well, the mountains disappeared.
Without telling him anything.
Yeah.
So,
You
Who knows
suck
what they're called.
at
No, I know
explaining
that's
stuff.
That's why. No, that's why he's
I
doing
wrote
it. That's
down.
too
The-
long.
the quest that we were set out on,
Yeah.
we were looking for a gentleman named Maurice.
Okay.
who
Well, let's
was-
backtrack. We did find the probably
Yeah.
Russians, and they sent us on a quest in order
That's what I
to get
Yeah.
those
said.
items. Okay.
So, we were sent on a quest to find a gentleman who was creating some kind of cure-all.
Okay.
We suspected that the cure-all was not actually good.
It was not.
It was not.
First
Someone may have ingested it, may not have. We found Maurice in
Okay.
the town he was in, and he was with two twin sisters
Sneak women.
who
We found it later.
we later found out were snake people.
And the cure-all potion was bewitching all the people that drank it.
So we followed them into a mountain range.
Well, before that, I got attacked by their giant snake in a wagon.
I
Who's telling
destroyed
this
it with
story?
the Tesla.
Sorry.
It's a really cool thing. You should have saw it.
Sorry, Jade.
He's like,
He's actually like pulling maps out
Okay.
and like looking,
Jade would probably be able to point
Well,
roughly.
and like you've seen this literal map, and you remember he described everything to you, and if you're remembering that like there was a mountain range there, but it's not on the map like at all.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
So,
Because it had been brought up, like anyone that has been in this area for long, people pointed out because it was strange. It didn't make any sense where it just kind of appeared out of.
so if Jane would have drawn the mountain range, would
Yeah.
it still be in her journal?
Yeah, it's everything in yours.
Because she would have sketched that out. So, at this point in the storytelling, Jade would bring her journal out
Okay.
with the mountain range on it
Okay.
to continue kind of telling her story. We followed them into the mountains, in which we
I sold my hand.
found a big snake, fought the snake women,
Chased me.
into a cave, which led to
That's where my hand was.
a pyramid. And there was
Well,
a
the
big
pyramid was in the jungle.
in the cave.
There was a
Okay.
flying creature of some kind in the cave.
There was a pyramid in
Like
the
a
jungle.
bat
And
and a snake
there
the
were
size of a
these-
house.
Writings, so she would flip her pages
I would-
over. There were these writings. I would love to have this conversation with you separately at some point too,
I
but
would lean over to him and say, I have it written down in my notebook if you want to read it.
Like Jeremiah,
It's like
just
information overload.
just went over and grabbed like a bottle and just sat down. And he's just drinking. He just
and there were these weird writings on everything.
okay.
And we stumbled upon Maurice and the sisters performing a ritual in which one of the sisters was killed.
Okay.
And the other sister, Maurice, disappeared into a portal?
It was like a window opened in the floor and then closed after they went through it.
So like a pool, like you might describe it as like a pool of shadow.
pool of
Yeah,
shadows.
pool of shadow.
Okay, so and he's making notes on certain things, like okay.
And
Oh, and don't forget the altar that was but was not every single time we looked at it.
Yeah.
yes. And then there was this weird robe. Jade would like use her handkerchief to pull it out. That I don't like touching it, and nobody else will touch it.
When you bring the robe out, there's like almost like recognition and like disdain. He grabs it. Okay.
So, what Jade was saying is after they went through this pool of shadows, everything started to collapse. And we ran as fast as we
Barely made
could.
it out.
Barely made it out. Through all of the collapsing and the screaming and the breaking.
And you're still messed up looking right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super messed up. And so as
And-
soon as
We were carrying the dead sister's body.
yes, we wanted to bring it back for Cedric's science. But as soon as we exited the mountain, the body and the mountain vanished.
And the graveyard.
And the graveyard full of lots of dead
And
bodies.
the stable
Caretaker.
caretaker that we assumed had also ingested the.
You do not remember any mountains being there?
No.
So I'm noticing this pattern. Before we went on our journey, even you and everybody else knew there were mountains there. And now that we're out and we're talking to everyone, this has happened to multiple people. They swear there are no mountains.
Okay. I've heard of specific situations similar to this. Okay. But
Oh, the parcel. This is for you.
that's actually for you.
Gosh,
Awkward.
dang it!
Yeah.
Put it back.
And like he
Well.
just turns beet red. Just is like
Let's
Um,
see it.
Open it.
Open it.
Just put it back in my bag.
but
Oh, no. I did not just go through all that for you to get a dress.
Okay, so okay, you talked about certain people. I'm going to continue to look that up. The concoction you talked about, what it did to the individuals. Do you have a sample of it, so we can actually?
I have a sample of it still.
Okay, so you can be possibly doing. What are you holding under your arm?
I was distracted. I want you to see this. It's a head. It's look at all the weird writings and everything, and then, wait, there's more. When I wouldn't have got it. I mean, it's just a head. I have plenty of heads in the workshop.
you do.
But, I was looking at it, and then it moved its jaw at me. It was kind of like speaking to me. Hey, come get me. You should pick me up. And so I did. And I
Okay.
want to open it up.
I
It's
don't
kinda
advise
silly.
it. That looks very similar. The writing does to things on my shelf that are bound for a reason.
Oh, thank you.
So there's like tags and it looks kind of similar to it. Now you're having the recollection that there was a binding on that strange painting.
Okay.
That's kind of similar to that. Okay, so we do have a sample of that. Ivan did telegraph me that things were taken care of and we could possibly continue to do business with them. And there's, because we did that, there's avenue with this individual named Gerald.
We like Gerald, sir.
Okay. Now with
It was the slow blinking. It just got me. Got me good.
which individual was slow blinking? Me?
It was you, because he said we like Gerald, and you just blink.
So, and all of you, did you get answers from the individual? Okay. Did you get answers from? Okay. Good. This is a lot to unpack.
You're telling me.
We'll get some individuals to
Find Lily. Oh,
bandage
find me
you up a
Okay.
little bit better.
He's like,
Yeah, I'm really messed up.
Frederick, are you
Just-
are you still pretty messed up? You don't have any wounds left, do you?
James perfectly fine through this whole
Yeah,
thing.
well,
Scary.
did you say that we go back to full, like,
We both are
HP,
like,
full vigor?
"Wow."
Full vigor, but not wounds.
What happened here? They're just like.
New, I probably need
A little
some milk.
dirty, a little
Yeah.
tired looking.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna have like a longer period of downtime for you guys to actually heal up, because yeah, and so this means we can have just different opportunities if people are wanting to, because you unloaded a whole bunch of information, so he's going to be studying and doing stuff like that.
Jim would like to take a bath. I don't think any of us have bathed the whole time
Yeah,
we've been
Tulak
gone.
would definitely be
Yep.
a fan of that.
And so Loretta helps you with that. Now your all of your stuff is set up in Thaddeus' old room, and his room is none of his stuff is in there
Okay.
because his room was actually centered in the facility, so no windows. So there's like you're in like the safest room
I'm in the
now.
safest room because of what happened to me last
Yes.
time.
Yeah. And
bodyguards the second floor.
and you're
It would
you
be me.
and you went by your old room, and it looks like it's just latched.
Okay.
With your awareness, which is pretty flippin' high,
Yeah.
you would have definitely noticed that Thaddeus has been sleeping in his office. And yeah, so
During this rest period, Tulak would try to buy a gun.
another one.
Yeah, instead of a sidearm, he'd either try to upgrade to a more powerful sidearm, or he'd want to buy a big old buffalo rifle,
have a
kind of like
budget.
what she
You have a
has.
lever action rifle. Remember that?
Yeah, you have to.
I thought I lost it with Burrow.
You just took it off of Burrow.
Yeah, take it off.
Oh, so it's been on Frederick's saddle this whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a good lever action rifle?
Yeah.
It's a Henry lever action rifle. You load on Sunday and you shoot all week. That's
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, you
I
could
think
have
I'm
been
good.
you could have been flying around with that thing.
Yeah. It does the same. You've got all the stats on it.
Nice.
So anyway,
Anyway,
Let's see. We've been playing just over 2 hours. I'm gonna keep going, but some of you guys probably need to get some sleep.
I do. I have to. I'll be that guy.
Okay. Well, we can.
Rest in the game and in real life.
Yeah. So our next session will be kind of the downtime. So we get to figure out when that is. So hopefully everyone had fun, and
Yes.
those
Yes.
watching, most likely, mainly just me watching again. See you guys next time.